Glory and praise belongs to Allah, the eternal absolute, who created the mind to reflect, who created the heart to think, who created all things in pairs, and even more so. Glory and praise belongs to the Lord and Cherisher, who makes the rain come forward onto the earth, and therewith then you see vegetables and all type of fruits for us to consume and eat so that we may be healthy. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As you see, it's the Maroon Khalif page, YouTube, and there's some things we're going to talk about for a second. First, I want to talk about duaa, or the concept of supplicating, calling out to your Creator. There is a method that I like to share with you. So, one of the methods is, first thing is you praise and glorify the Creator who made all things. So you would do something like this. You would do something like praise and you say something like praise and glory, and then after you say praise and glory or glory, then you say what it is that you are glorifying the Creator about. Okay, you would say what you are glorifying the Creator about. For example, praise and glory belongs to the Creator who made all things. Okay, so you're glorifying, praising it because it created all things. Then you can go more specific, like who created. Now you're going to point out something specific in creation. Who created the hearts? And then the next thing you would do after saying hearts, you tell what the function of that thing is. Okay, because when you speak on the function of a thing, then you can reflect the benefit that the Creator gave you from it, so that the heart becomes more thankful and appreciative. So you say who created the hearts too, and then you would put in what it is about that thing that you were thankful about, or just the function of that thing. Okay, because there may be other people who listen and they may start to reflect. And so you say the heart that reflects, or the heart that pumps blood, that gives the blood to the lungs, which causes the oxygen, help the oxygen to flow, which gives me life in order for me to be able to do, and then you name what you do from that function, right? So the connection is the function of the thing. First you glorify and praise the Lord, then you say exactly why it is or what it is, that the reason why you are praising the Lord of something in creation. Then you choose something in creation to focus on, and then you name that function of that thing, and then you give it the connection that it has towards you and what it does for you. This type of calling out to your Lord increases a form of thankfulness. I hope you guys can see me on the screen, because it seems like I can't really see for some reason. So that's what basically that does. Then after that, you go on to your personal thing that you will want to probably say, like, "Oh, Creator." The next thing is ask for forgiveness, because we as human beings, we forget, we err. So the first thing before we even ask for anything, specifically that we want, that is like of a favor or a request, we plead the forgiveness, or Creator, forgive me for that which I know of, the wrong I know of, and the wrongs that I do not know of. Then after that, you make your request. You send, before you make a request, or you can do it afterwards. At the end, of send peace and blessings upon the prophets and their families, the righteous believers. Okay, because they took the time to actually to struggle and strive, using their limited free will to implement the teachings or the lifestyle that the Creator wants them to live, so that everything is better. So that's just a short way of me telling you how to basically call on to your Lord and do a duaa. You could do many different type of things. Also, the other way is you could say, I invoke you, or I ask your intercession through your names. So then, the Creator has more than 99 names. The most gracious, the most merciful, the all-hearing, the all-seeing, the punisher, the forgiver. And you use these names specifically to reach out towards the Creator through the attribute of what it does or what it is. For example, if I say, "Oh Allah, forgive me, please forgive me for the wrong that I've done, the wrong that I know of, and the wrong that I do not know of. Please forgive me, and through your mercy, because you are the most merciful." So in this instance, now you're saying you are Ar-Rahman, you are the most gracious, you are the most merciful. You see, you are Al-Ghafur, the forgiver. You are Al-Halim, the forbearer. You are As-Sabur, the patient or the consistent. You see, so whatever thing that you want, that is the name that you invoke the Creator through of its attribute. Okay, if I want prosperity, I say, "Oh Allah, or our Creator, oh Lord and Cherisher of the worlds." You can say Allah, or you can say, "Oh Lord and Cherisher of the worlds, please provide for me, oh Ar-Razak," or "Oh Provider, one who provides all things." You see, so it depends on what exactly you're asking. If you need patience, you say, "Oh Creator, who created all things, please make me a more patient person, oh Creator, As-Sabur." As-Sabur means the patient one. So you're asking for patience, you're asking for consistency. As-Sabur or Sabr means constant, meaning you stay on some constant regardless of the bad or the good that happens to you. In this case, it's serving the Creator. So that's one way you could do it with the attributes of the Creator, through the attributes of the Creator. So that was a little bit something I want to share about how to call on to your Lord. I hope that benefited you real quick. The second thing we're going to be talking about is about, does the Creator incarnate? Now we talked before about the Akal, the last video, Akal, the intellect that He created within the soul, and this is the means through which the Creator guides you, tells you the right and tells you the wrong, things of that nature. Or we could just move that out the way and just say through your soul. Either way, sometimes it is a angel, or what people want to translate an angel, but really the word is Malik, Malika. Malik means a sovereign one, or one that the Creator has given a specific job to do. And the Creator gives different things jobs, because that is a test within themselves too, as far as to learning something, things of that nature. Quote unquote, what we call angels, they learn too. You see, so they're given tasks, to do on behalf of what the Creator wants to be done with human beings, and so they learn things themselves too. Let's see. So the Creator, when we had talked about the Akal, or the divine intellect, we were talking about how a person is guided. And this is the same thing with the other thing, okay? And what I mean by other thing is that the other part of this is that because of that, there is no incarnation, meaning that the Creator is in one space and He's not in this space, things of that nature. People's like, well, maybe He moved over here, maybe He moved over there, maybe He went down, maybe He went up, and He's in one space and not in the other. That stuff like that. We don't have that type of thing because, or I should say, those who are knowing of this. There is no specific space for the Creator as far as a specific spot it dwells in, because it existed before any dwelling place, because it does not have a body. Okay, so it existed before bodies were made, shapes were formed, time came about by that, and so therefore this is the meaning of the Creator as limitless. Okay, it doesn't have no limit. So limits, the Creator has none, and He has no limits because every limited thing has an end to its limits. So if something can be limited, it can also be extended. So if something could be shortened, contracted, or I should say shortened, then it can be elongated too, right? So that means if you're, for example, like us, that's an attribute of us, right? We are born and then we grow, right? Some people, when they get old, their bones become brittle and they become short, right? So they're expanding and they're contracting. Well, the Creator is not like that, because that is part of limits, okay? And that is part of space. That is part of time. You understand? So, so something that can be limited, it can also be extended, and something that's extended can also go back and become contracted. You see, but because the Creator is unlimited, it is neither extended, right, and it is not constrained. So therefore, you also can't divide it, and also you cannot imagine it. Okay, you can't imagine it because all images are what? Limitations, spaces, circle, squares, right? So we know the Creator through the action that we see done in the creation, okay? And then your heart, the more purified it becomes, okay, starts to see with the spiritual, sort of like a spiritual light. You begin to see the reality of the Creator, okay? And so that sign of the Creator makes you be able to bear witness to the Creator's existence and actions and attributes that the Creator has told you to call it by, right? You see through the light of your iman, the light of your security, the light of your faith, okay? And so that's one thing I want to point out, is that this goes back to, when we're talking about limits, this goes back to a thing called incarnation, because in order to incarnate, you go inside something, inside a space, inside a time, inside a body, whereas your Lord is knowing all things, created all spaces, created all places, created all limits. So that lets you know that it is something opposite, not opposite in the sense of opposing, but something that is something completely unique and different. Okay, so this is a very important understanding, because what begins to happen is many people, if they start thinking their Creator is limited, then they start thinking they can imagine it, and if they can imagine it, then they can be a human being like us, and then et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The other thing is connected to that is the Creator, when it uses when it creates understandings within our hearts and our minds, and we use certain metaphors like the Creator has hands, or the Creator sees. It's not through eyes per se, like us as shapes and forms, but it sees because of basically everything is made, you know. Everything is made. It sees, but it doesn't see through shapes and time and things like that. Limits. It don't see like we see. You understand? It sees which is a way that's unique to its own essence. So it sees everything as once. Okay. So yeah, and we're gonna go to like the hands. Like for example, the Creator's. Some people use the metaphor hands, right? Yes, when it says hands, it's hands, but it's not hands like how we humans are describing hands. I can tell you right now, these are the Malaika, specifically usually the angel Jibrail, Gabriel, and Michael, that does the bidding of the Creator when the Creator wants it to will. It's sort of like the metaphor when we say, "That's my right hand man," that's my upper hand upon them, things like that. When we say we got the upper hand on you, well, we're saying upper hand, but we don't really mean a hand's up or above you, see? But we do mean, if you say the Creator's hand is above the believer's hands, we mean that the Creator is, the believers can't do nothing with their hands, because the believers can't, here's a better way to say it. The Creator is guiding things through the believer's hands. You don't move unless the Creator is moving you. You understand? So the action of the Creator moving you is the action as if there's a hand that pushes you. You understand? So when he sends the the angels to do things, that is the hands at work of the Creator. Okay, and you can call them angels right now. I particularly don't like that translation, but we'll use that because that's what we usually know. I call them the sovereign ones, or the ones who are given work and job, who created just to do that, right? So that's basically, I shoved all that into that to say incarnation, hands, eyes, these things, if they're used as metaphors, they're metaphors pointing to a more deeper reality than the actual literal meaning of the word itself. Okay, though the word is there, and so the word is sticking, right? Because human beings understand things in different ways, right? Some people are literalists, some people understand things through metaphors, some people understand things through parables, and the Creator communicates with you on all the different levels that you are in. So I hope that benefits you. And may peace and blessings be upon all of you. Praise and glory belongs to the Creator who created all things, who created the minds to be able to reflect, who created the hearts to be able to pump blood, and that in turn helps us with oxygen, and that in turn helps us be able to enjoy the things that we do in life. And that gives us the opportunity to be able to think in a clarified manner. So glory and praise belongs to the Creator who made all things in their functions and their categories and their limits, and indeed it is unlimited. You guys have a good day. It is time for me to go. Peace.